With more than 30 years of experience in family and marital law, our next guests have helped countless families through some of life's toughest moments, and that includes co-parenting. Dean Kantaras and Stephanie Cavell from Kantaras Law are back with us today with some insight. So welcome back to the show. Great to have you here.
Great to be here.
Yeah, so I imagine this is a challenging time when it comes to summer and custody. What do you see? What are some of the biggest mistakes that families make when it comes to their summer custody plan?
Waiting too long to address it, right? If they wait too long, the parties can't clear it up, and you can't get in front of a judge to clear it up for them. So I would suggest that around Christmas time, make sure you have your plans relatively set. Most parenting plans provide for a date to give the other side when you're going to, like on even years, the father might be able to give a date by the middle of maybe February or April, saying these are the 2 weeks I'm going to take. And then the mother has a couple weeks after that to say what she wants, and the next year it flips. The key is to be ahead of it. As early as you know when you're going to take a vacation or where you're going to go, you need to plan it. There's passport issues and things like that too.
Yeah, absolutely. Does a standard Florida custody plan take into account the summer, or is this something you need to discuss specifically?
Both. The parenting plan has an option for addressing summer time sharing and addressing the whole summer break, because if there's kids, chances are they've got a good 8 or 10 weeks where they're out of school, and you've got to make plans, especially if you have 2 working parents. So you can designate specifically how you want the summer to go, or you can choose not to and just follow your regular schedule. It really just depends on what your family does or what your needs are.
Yeah, well, a lot of families want to travel. Some want to travel internationally. Can families with a custody plan do that, or how does that work?
Well, the parenting plan matters, right? If it indicates you can, then you got to follow the parameters set out in the parenting plan. The other problem is the passports, right? So unless the child's over 16, you need both parents to sign off on getting the passport, so that has to be pre-planned. Hopefully you've already addressed some of these issues when you did the divorce in the first place. If you're in the midst of a divorce, it's going to probably require filing motions and getting restrictions on where you can go. There's the Hague Convention, so there's certain countries that are part of that, and it's not the final judgment or the order from the court in the United States would be enforceable in those countries. Maybe there's restrictions on countries that don't have that or don't follow it.
If people can't agree, if a couple can't agree, is there opportunity to go back in front of a judge to kind of settle things?
Ideally, you want to do that during the initial, because once you do have a parenting plan and once it's adopted into a final judgment, it's a lot harder to change it in the future. You've got a heavier burden, so it's worth it to spend a lot of time and attention on it, because it is an important document, right? It more or less dictates what days you have, what your holidays are, and so if it's important to you, it's important to spend the time when you're initially doing it to try to make it as best as you can, given your family's dynamics, so that you don't have to come back. But we all know things change too.
Right.
Kids grow older, circumstances change. So there is an opportunity to go back and change it. It's just a little more difficult.
Yeah, so I guess it depends how bad you want that, how it's going, right, with the discussions.
And how well you get along with your other parent, because if you can do it by agreement, it's a lot easier.
Yeah, that was my next question. I mean, can co-parents, can they just decide on their own to adjust the plan themselves, or do they always have to go back to court?
Well, they don't have to go back to court, but even if they do adjust the plan, it's better to put it in writing and get an order, because invariably at the end, someone may get upset, say, no, you can't take the trip. But if you can get an agreement, put it in writing, get an order to accompany it, there's no changing the plan, and you can go ahead and go forward.
Yeah, what advice do you have for someone who maybe this is their first summer dealing with this?
Plan ahead. Look at the calendars in advance, because if you realize that there's a problem and you can't resolve it together and you maybe need the court's help, it could be weeks or months before you can get a hearing. So, here we are in April and school's over next month for most kids. So don't wait.
Yeah. Well, great advice, great tips. Thank you so much for coming on today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And if you would like to learn more or to make an appointment, you can just head to kantaraslaw.com.